You are listening to the Life, Hope, and Leadership podcast with Nick Shabrinsky, a transparent, honest, and encouraging podcast to equip you through real-life experiences.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you so much for jumping in on Life, Hope, and Leadership with me, Nick Shabrinsky. I hope these podcasts are bringing you incredible encouragement, strength, joy, maybe challenging you, kicking your butt a little bit. Either way, let's just be the best us, and that is the whole point of this podcast. I just simply want to be able to share a little bit into my life, hopefully in a way that helps you grow in your life. I really believe that God created every single one of us with incredible purpose. And, man, it's just so easy to get lost in that. And so this is just a way for me to kind of share some of the stuff in my life, some of the things with my hope and some with my leadership. If you're enjoying these podcasts, look, send them to 5 people, ask them to follow. You sharing, you leaving a review, it helps me, and I really appreciate it. And I'd love to hear any feedback from, especially on our Spotify. You're actually able to engage through Q&A. So feel free to type anything in there, write anything. PastorNick.net is my website if you want to contact me at all. Just love to hear how the show is helping you in your walk with God, in your life, your encouragement, and in your journey. Maybe you're not a Christian. Maybe you're just like, look, dude, this is where I am, and I'm all about that life. So today's episode is actually a episode on hope. As a Christian, you know, I'm looking at the world, and I live with just continual questions about the who, what, when, where, and why, and the how of all things. And lately, as I've just navigating, and if you don't know, I actually pastor a church. We have multiple locations that we pastor, and we reach a lot of people through social media and our online presence as well. Different countries, different nations, different states, different ages, different ethnic backgrounds, different stories. And because of that, it's often comes to me of, well, how do I do X, Y, and Z where I am? How do I do X, Y, and Z where I live? How do I navigate pop culture, society, politics? How do I navigate this stuff? How do I navigate that maybe my belief system is different than their belief system, and their belief system is different than my belief system? And we have a lot of people that are afraid to have individual thought anymore because the collective has been creating a narrative of demonizing different belief systems. We tell people, hey, be unique, be you. And we want to celebrate that. We want to celebrate diversity. And it's a shame that sometimes in diversity, when we really want to talk about diversity, for some people, narrow-sightedness comes to a place where diversity simply means ethnic difference. But diversity, true diversity, is difference of age, difference of ethnicity, and ethnicity can be difference of culture. You can be a Hispanic person raised in the United States, and you can be a Hispanic person raised in Mexico or Puerto Rico or, Venezuela or a different place. And every one of them are going to have different culture, even though they might have ethnic similarities. I am a white guy who is doesn't know much about any of my ethnic background, but I definitely have a culture because I am a Christian and I've grown up in different states, different backgrounds, and grew up with different people. And so diversity is much bigger than just the immediacy of ethnic backgrounds and different skin tones, but realizing that we all come from different places, different experiences. And because of that, it brings me to my episode today where I just want to give you a little bit of peace about the power of knowing Jesus. And so today's a hope episode, faith, hope, your walk with God, beliefs. And that's why the podcast is Life, Hope, and Leadership. Sometimes it's just a life experience. Sometimes something that really leans on my hope. And then sometimes the importance of leadership and how to do that better. So dig in with me. And I hope that just, some thoughts. And I want you to know, this is one of the few episodes where I have nothing in front of me. I'm just sitting here sharing from my heart. And they always are that way, but sometimes I have points in front of me, things to keep me on track. And today, I guess I'm just kind of shooting from the hip. But when I think about some of the things we're trying to navigate as a society, and realizing that we're trying to interpret our worldview, oftentimes trying to navigate that, trying to fit it through the cracks of social media influences, television influences, Netflix, Amazon Prime, YouTube, Disney, Hulu, ESPN, sports culture, music culture, Spotify, YouTube Music, Pandora, Apple Music. It's everything. It's a fight. Everything you're doing today is a fight for your attention, a fight for your finances. It's crazy. You used to be able to listen to stuff. Everything was, when it started coming out streaming, it was like, hey, it's free. Go ahead, just use it. A couple commercials here, a couple commercials there, whatever. And now it's like everything is a subscription. It's insane. Everything. And I want you to realize that life is a subscription. And your surplus will always be attached to how many subscriptions you have. And I'm not talking about finances. I'm talking about peace, joy. Did you know that the average adult is using social media for 2.5 to 3.5 hours a day? Functioning on social media. Not just I have a social media account. Scrolling, liking, tapping, looking, gazing, lost in the black hole of social media. And I'm guilty. That's why they're making these apps that are like, screen time and health. And they're realizing that people are suffering mental health issues, and they're directly attaching it to this realization that we are not living our lives anymore. We are living other people's lives. We're living through this experience, this virtual world of watch it, like it, see it, scroll it. And then the algorithm shoves you in a box with a bunch of other, puppies and kittens of whatever it is that we like and desire. And so now our worldview becomes very narrow because the algorithm has just put walls up and said, hey, stay in your lane. There's a movie called The Social Dilemma. You should watch it. It was on Netflix a few years ago. I'm not sure if it's still there, but it will really bring some light to that point. I'm not going to go much further into that. And then we have the statistic is that the average young adult teenager is operating and actively using social media. I'm not even kidding you guys. This is crazy. You're not going to believe me. 8 to 8.5 hours a day. They are on a full-time job on social media. And here's the problem. A lot of people are not active. They're not engaging. They're not leading. They're not navigating it. They're just sucked into it. It's amazing how many people have had a viral hit and they try to recreate the momentum off the backside of that viral hit, and we shove them in a box. I often say it this way. You look at Billy Idol. This isn't to diss Billy Idol. You look at guys like Billy Idol. You look at the people who got famous because of their look, because of their sound, and all of a sudden we shoved them in a box. And they tried doing this to Jesus. Hey, we like you like this. Stay that way. If Billy Idol just grew black long hair and wanted to wear emo clothes or start wearing a suit everywhere, would people recognize him? Would they like him? Would they want him? Would they want to go to his shows? It's crazy how we just do this. We shove everything in a box. And daily I sit here and I go, God, I want people to be able to look in the mirror and be proud of who they are as believers in you. There's something to be said about truly believing something. I respect people like that say, I believe this and therefore I do this. But we have become a society that says, I believe this, but I do that. And then you go, well, why do you do that? Well, because everybody else does that. And the age-old saying as children, as you guys remember, Mom always said, if everybody jumped off a bridge, would you follow? And the answer in 2023 is yes. Most people would, because they would do it for the likes, they would do it for the gram, they would do it for the talk, they'd do it for the snap. And all us old people would do it for Facebook. So I wanted to give you a thought. Jesus said something. I am the way. I am the truth. I am the life. This is an audacious statement. A lot of y'all that listen, and if you're not a believer, I want you to listen. Don't get mad. I'm not mad at you. Don't be mad at me. Let's just talk. Let's just reason together. But Jesus said something very audacious. He didn't say it arrogantly. He didn't say it to make people feel like crap. He did not say it to condemn anybody. In fact, he said, look, I didn't come to condemn you. I came to save you. Jesus said, I am the way. I am the truth. I am the life. No man comes to the Father. No woman comes to the Father but through me. So he has this goal. Man, I want to get you to the Father's arms. I want to get you back into the Father's hands. And everything in this world, everything is trying to get you somewhere. Remember that. You cannot be naive. Do not play stupid. Everything is trying to get you somewhere. And sadly, sometimes that somewhere is nowhere. There are people who would rather you end up somewhere with them, which is nowhere. There are people who would rather you be in the bar every night with them without any provision to where you're going, so long as you're somewhere with them, which may be nowhere compared to where you're supposed to be. And Jesus said, you're supposed to be somewhere, and that somewhere I want you to be with me and the Father. What did he say to the guy on the cross? 3 guys on the cross, one in the middle is the Savior, 2 on the sides are buttholes. And the one guy goes, you're a Savior, blah, 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 blah. Do what I tell you to do and save us and rescue us. The other guy says, bro, you're an idiot. You and I have messed up. This guy, Jesus, has done nothing wrong, and yet he's still condemned. And he looks at Jesus, says, Jesus, would you save me? Would you have mercy on me? And Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life to us. And then he looks at that guy and says, today you will be with me in paradise. And I just want you to take a little weight off your shoulders, because this guy didn't get to go to Bible college. He didn't get to go to church. He didn't get catechism. He didn't get baptized. He didn't take communion. He didn't get blessed. He didn't get exercise. Didn't go through a life group, freedom group, discipleship group. The dude simply said, Jesus saved me. Jesus said, today you'll be with me in paradise with the Father. I want you to be somewhere. And I want you to be somewhere that's worth going. But you got to realize, we have become a people that say, I believe, but I don't do. And the reality is, you can write it down. What you do reveals what you believe. We cannot say, I can't look at my wife and say, I love you and not love her. What I say, I have to do, because what I do is actually revealing more than what I say. Your actions, as they all say, speak louder than words. And so Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. And from my understanding, when Jesus was in a Roman culture, among people trying to point them back to the Father, the God of all creation, he's dealing with a hierarchy of Caesar in this Roman world. And Caesar, there's a saying, all roads lead to Rome. And what we understand is that the way, it was called the Roman way. Everything was being done the Roman way. Caesar's goal was, I am a God among men, and I want everybody to do it my way. I am the way. If you don't do it Caesar's way, then off with your head. And we see this because you had this idea that we are the world. We are the world. We are the children, right? And it's messed up. And so what you had was, people were more into just the Roman way than the godly way. And Jesus said, I am the way. I am the truth. I am the life. And I want you to have some peace, because the problem is the society is an ever-shifting sand, constantly changing. One day this is popular, the next day it's not. And seriously, whatever age you are old enough to be able to look in the mirror of your past and go, holy crap, that's true. This hairstyle was cool, then it wasn't. Those shoes were cool, then it wasn't. That car was dope, and now it's a joke. I mean, come on, y'all were rocking Vanilla Ice at one point. Some of y'all still are. What you love will eventually be on the classic radio. You're changing, you're getting older, you're evolving, You're growing. The world is shifting. And if you don't have a true north, then the world is going to tell you what north is. And you're not going to be happy when you go north with the world and realize you never ended up where you were intending to be. And the Bible tells us very clearly, I am the way, the truth, and the life. I am the way for which you should live. I am the truth you're looking for. People go, oh yeah, follow your heart. Don't follow your heart. Do not follow your heart. You're dumb enough to say that and believe that? Come on. How many times did you follow your heart as a teenager and regretted it? How many times as a college ager regretted it? How many times as a child? How many times as a wife, as a husband? How many times did you follow? Don't follow your heart. Follow the truth. And then the life. And people are going, how do I find life? I am depressed. I'm anxious. I'm angry. I'm upset. I have no joy. I have no peace. I feel sick. I feel disgusted. I feel unhappy. Nobody loves me. Everybody hates me. Guess I'll go eat worms. Jesus said, guys, I'm the way. I'm the way. I'm the way to live. I'm the way to go. I'm it. I'm telling you, all roads that lead to anywhere you want to take through me. I'm the truth and I'm the life. The world is okay feeding you a lie so long as it feeding you feeds it. And so here's what's significant, and I just want to give you a thought. I think too many of us are trying to interpret Jesus through 2023 rather than interpreting 2023 through Jesus. I think many of us are trying to find God from a 2023 perspective and going, hey, how do I fit God into this narrative of LGBTQIA+, transgender, abortion, Democrat, Republican, political fights? How do I navigate Jesus through equality, diversity, feminism? How do I navigate Jesus through freedom and liberal movement, and progressive and conservative? Instead of going, hey, Jesus, you said you're the way, you said you're the truth. How do I navigate 2023 from what you said? Because everything in the Bible points to today and it navigates, it helps us have a true north. And my friends, that's what's important. And I hope that, we can see, I hope if you disagree with me, I hope that you will be mature enough to go, you know what? I can disagree, but add this to the arsenal of thought. And this is one of the things that the Bible is very clear. It says, guys, your thoughts are not my thoughts. Your ways are not my ways. So we can immediately go, man, okay, so the Bible is telling us we need to be thinking. We need to have ways. We need to have thoughts. We can't shut down the school of thought. That's what I frustrate about when I hear of students going to universities, and the first thing that teachers and professors are doing at a lot of colleges and universities is going, hey, stop thinking that way. No. Let me know why you think that way. Let's come back to a university of thought. Let's go to a diversity of thought. Let's come together and say, hey, let's take all of our thoughts. What do you say about that, God? Why? Because the reality is it doesn't matter how much I want to customize my Ford Mustang. At the end of the day, there's only so much that I can do with what was originally created by the manufacturer. And so when I go to buy a part, I can just be like, hey, this would be a cool part. Well, it would be a cool part, but it doesn't fit your model. And if you put it on that model, you're going to break it. And I say this all the time, the greatest way to sustain something is to operate according to the manual. And we serve a God who has allowed us to customize and to quantify and to qualify and to have experience. Hey, be fruitful, multiply. The Bible points us to an endeavor lifestyle with God, but we cannot break the vehicle and then blame the Creator when we did not operate according to the manual. Jesus said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. And I would encourage you today to step back from the pressure of society that's going to change its belief systems in the next cycle of change. In the next 5 years, what is normal today, what is everybody's fighting for today, will be a memory. It'll be a vapor. We won't even be talking about it. And people will have drastically impacted, affected, and modified their lives to fit 2023. But in 2028, they will no longer fit. And I want you to know this, although Jesus always fits among our society, the things of God have never been fully received by society. But the cool thing that I love about Jesus and Christianity, not Christians, Jesus and Christianity, one thing I love about him, and I'll leave you with this, is that although churches have come and gone, nations have risen and fallen, leaders have come, leaders have left, many have succeeded, many have failed. We've had good examples and bad ones. But the one thing that I can put my head down every night as a Christian with confidence is that Jesus and his way have never been a bad way. People have done bad things in his name, but never did he do a bad thing. In his name, he was good. He was worth following. And I hope that encourages you, that you'll go, you know what? I need to consider this Jesus, his way, his truth, and his life. Let's interpret 2023 through him. Let's interpret the next years and decades through him instead of trying to interpret him through our decades. Thank you so much for listening. Life, Hope, and Leadership. I hope this encourages you. I just have some thoughts today. This is why I created this podcast, so I can get on here and get some stuff out of my head. I'm trying to navigate a lot of feelings and emotions as I try to help and love people, and sometimes these things just kind of get jammed up in there. So thanks for being a part of my journey, and thank you for letting me be a part of yours. I love you. Share this. Leave some reviews. It really means the world to me that you listen. Truly encourages me. And thank you for everybody who has also been financially supporting. That is just the coolest thing in the world, to know that people would actually financially support these things coming out of my mouth on a Spotify channel or wherever you're listening. God bless you. Change your world this week.
You are listening to the Life, Hope, and Leadership podcast with Nick Shabrinsky, a transparent, honest, and encouraging podcast to equip you through real life experiences.